speaker is working on the vocal variety pages of his manual. This vocal variety objectives are to use volume, pitch, rate, quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to your message. Use pauses to enhance your speech, and to use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. He's asking for 11 to 13 minutes. A few facts about the speaker is that he likes to try new things and is not afraid of failure. And I know Mr. Sauerwein to hit a softball and score a soccer goal in the same hit. Please welcome Mr. Sauerwein.
Mr. President, most welcome guests, fellow Toastmasters. In November of 1987, Time magazine asked in a cover story, "Who's in charge?" They then answered their own question by saying, "The nation calls for leadership and no one's home." That question has been asked many times since then, and it got me thinking. If America was full of leaders at one time, doesn't it seem to be something of a ghost town today? All the great leaders that we once respected are gone. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was able to convince the nation that all they had to fear was fear itself, is gone. Winston Churchill, who demanded and got blood, sweat, and tears, is gone. Mother Teresa, who was dedicated to the poor and able to move thousands to action with no other authority than that of her moral conviction and strength of determination, is gone. Albert Einstein, who gave us unity in the infinity of the cosmic universe, is gone. Gandhi, the Kennedys, Martin Luther King Jr., all gone. These people were able to show us that we could be greater, better than we are. They stood tall amidst chaos, and their leadership would change the course of history as we know it. My speech today is about leadership, and why if you truly go down the path of becoming a leader, your life will never be the same again. That's right, fellow Toastmasters. I just said, your life will never be the same again. Sure, you may never enjoy as much acclaim as the list of inspirational leaders I just mentioned, but your life will be an uncommon life that you can be proud of. And I want to say right off the bat, this speech has been the hardest speech for me to prepare for. And not just because I didn't memorize it. Actually, mainly because I didn't memorize it. I chose not to memorize it because two extraordinary women who just so happen to be extraordinary leaders, they're not here tonight. They convinced me that notes were the way to go. It's just normally you use less notes than this. I want to start off by telling you about some of the great books that I read and helped me to prepare for this speech. I read a book called On Becoming a Leader by Warren Benson. And this is a collection of interviews of some of the top leaders of our time. From there, it was In Search of Excellence by Thomas Peters, a candid look at some of the top companies in the United States and around the world. I read The Master Motivator, and I went through the Toastmasters International High Performance Leadership Development Manual. I reread Harvey Mackay's little ABCs of Success that we got at our charter celebration, and I just finished The Servant, which is a simple story about the essence of servant leadership. I'm learning a lot of things, but today I can only go over 3 of those, because not only is my speech a lot longer than it should be, I just wouldn't have enough time to tell you about them all. But hopefully, I'm able to convey to you guys just how important this journey is for me, and how it is undoubtedly getting me to look at my life in a completely different light. And that's where I'm going to begin. Point number 1, if you want to become a leader, you need to know yourself inside and out. Truly knowing yourself inside and out is one of the most difficult tasks any one of us faces. But until you truly know yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, know what you want to do and why you want to do it, you cannot succeed in any but the most superficial sense of the word. And I want to make this point very clear. A leader never deceives himself, especially about himself. And I have to admit, I've been doing some self-reflection. I'm a little embarrassed. Because if you would have called me up in the table topic session and asked me a simple question, like, tell us about yourself, James Sauerweiler, I would have came up here and been stumped. I didn't know my 5 greatest desires in life. I didn't know 10 good things about myself. I sure as heck didn't know my 5 greatest fears. But I've been working on that. I do self-reflection every day, and I want to say to all you guys, know yourself inside and out. It will not only make you a stronger person, but it will make you a better leader. And then you'll be ready to move on to what I have titled as goals and vision. And I will start off with a quote. Internationally respected physician and researcher, Dr. Hans Selye, I hope that's how it's pronounced, he used to like to say, to make a great dream come true, you must first have a great dream. Kind of to the point. At first, I couldn't think of anything that I have done recently, at least in my 8.5 years of incarceration here, that would show my capacity for vision. But as I read through all the books, I started to see parallels to my own life. So I want to start off with the vision that I had for the Media Center. A lot of you might not know, but I work over in the Media Center. And when I first got the job, I realized that it was more extensive than I could have ever imagined. But luckily there was a manual, an 800-page manual, and I took it home. I ate with it, I slept with it, I woke up with it, I read it from front to back in 4 days. I know more about the system than anybody in this institution, and I was even called over to help the installation of our new $60,000 electronic system that was installed 10 months ago. That was my first priority. And it does make me proud because I did have a vision for the Media Center. The first thing I wanted to do was to learn everything. Second was to improve everything. I replaced all the box TVs that we had in there, replaced them with flat screens. I replaced all the DVD players that we had and put in $500 commercial quality DVD players. I got rid of the old analog video camcorder, and the digital camcorder that you see back there is the only one we're going to use for future recordings. I got rid of the metal bookcases that we had in there, and I spoke with maintenance and had them build me space-saving wooden bookcases, which created tons of room for future DVD expansion. I replaced the secondary computer with a newer, more reliable compact. And this has made it easier to edit videos and to make better-looking slideshows for institutional projects. My most recent improvement is getting rid of the old book card system that we used to keep track of movies, and I'm now implementing a barcode scanner system like the one that we use in the library. And I want to add one more point about vision, because you can change things in here. You can manipulate the world around you. I was able to do it with the Spanish class. It took a little while, but I was able to successfully sell the idea to the Spanish Affairs Organization that we have a book called the Easy Spanish Step-by-Step Textbook that I had found on Amazon.com. My idea and the vision that I sold prompted the Spanish Affairs Organization to purchase over 30 of the Easy Spanish Step-by-Step textbooks. And it's now the standard that we use in my Spanish class every Saturday and Sunday. These 2 examples I just mentioned started with a vision, took shape because of goals that were set, and eventually became a reality because I did what was necessary, in the words of Warren Benson, to enroll others in my vision. If you start working on your capacity for vision and you set goals to make it a reality, you'll be well on your way to becoming a better leader. And once again, you'll be able to move on to my 3rd and final point, which I have titled From Driving to Leading. I have another quote. This is from Harvey McCabe's ABCs of Success. Leadership doesn't mean getting people to do their job. It means getting people to do their best. And there is a difference. On the one hand, you could simply try to control people using power and saying things like, you do what I say or you're fired. Or you do exactly what I say, how I pointed it out, or you're kicked out of this club. We all know what that type of leadership looks like. And it may get results for a while. But I guarantee you it will not stand the test of time, because true leadership is getting people to willingly do your will because you simply ask them to. I will do it because Mr. Burton asked me to do it. I will do it because Joan and Jackie Johansson are two people I have tremendous respect for. I submit to you that anybody in a position of power can coerce most people into doing their jobs, but that same person will not be able to get somebody to do their best. A true leader's power derives from who he is as a person, his character, and the influence that he has built with the people that he leads. And this type of power, gentlemen, can never be bought or sold, and it can never be given or taken away. I believe this type of leadership is why our club is growing at a rapid pace, because it is built on pride. Pride for oneself, and pride for the name of Changing Winds as a whole. And it's built on respect. Respect for one another, and respect for the name of Changing Winds. In closing, fellow Toastmasters, I want to make it clear to all of you that my journey of leadership has just started. And I have to say, I look over at our banner, and I can't help but think, as I look toward the future, that maybe the next time somebody asks, who's in charge? One of us, or maybe all of us, will be somewhere and in a position to say, I'm in charge. Right, Mr. Berger? I lead this company. I'm the president of Changing Winds Toastmasters Club. It's not just the nation that calls for leadership. It's our mothers and our fathers, our brothers and our sisters, our sons and our daughters, our wives and our significant others. They're all calling for leadership, gentlemen. Will you answer the call? Mr. Toastmaster.
Mr. Timer, minute and a half for evaluation, please.